This is going to be great. This is going to be a live demo. I think, Clara, Alonso, we're going to improvise a new chant, and it's going to be great, 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 great. OK, great layout, live demo, world premiere.
Well, I'm going to start. Welcome to Greet, Greet, Greet. It's not very easy to pronounce, but let's go into that. Oh, sorry. Sorry for that. Our introduced.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah. Is this where it's not shown? So. In Penpot, everything is going to be fine. So, hi there. We are Clara. I am Clara Garci. I'm product designer from Penpot. I hope you know me from the emails I'll send you, like Clara from Penpot. It's me. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm Alonso Torres, also known as Alotor in Twitter. Yeah, I'm one of the front-end developers in Penpot. Yep.
And let's go back to this. So we are going to start with a warm-up, and I want to raise your hands, the one of you who designers in the room,
Yeah.
OK?
So Team Clara, no? And now, can you raise up those that code? Yeah.
Team Alonso?
Team Alonso, right.
And now
so
let's
we
fight.
have,
No.
So we have a mixed audience, I think.
Yeah. 50%. That's all right. So we're going to start speaking about what Penpot is. Penpot is a design tool and to connect designers and developers. That's a philosophy that we have, not only in Penpot as a product, also in Penpot as a team. We work always connected. We work always hand-to-hand in every user story. Every functionality is designed in Penpot, from Penpot and to Penpot. And these functionalities are always raised from designers and developers. So the philosophy is to unify languages between design and develop. And as I said, in Penpot team, always design and develop work together. With Penpot, also we want to be didactical and minimize the gap between design and develop.
So when we started developing, well, maybe of you are familiar with the Flex layout. It's a functionality we released this year.
Yeah, this
our focus with the Flex layout was 3 points. We wanted to empower the developers to create flexible layouts, to have more reusable, more modular designs, so to enforce good practices. And also, for us, was hugely important to have a better collaboration between designers and developers, but always using open standards. And part of that philosophy was to, for example, use the same language as developers, because in other tools, for example, you could have the same concepts with different languages, And for us, it was crucial that this match, so developers and designers spoke the same language. So this is a refresher on the Flex layout. This is already in production in Penpot. So the thing is, what's the next step? So yeah, grid layout. I don't know if you are familiar with the CCS standards, but define two kinds of layouts. We have the Flexbox layout. It's more thought for one dimension. So you, for example, have a big row or a big column, no? That controls the other dimension, maybe with wrap. But the grid layout, it's thought more for two dimensions. So you don't have only row or only column, but you have a mix of both. And also, the Flex layout defines more a bottom-up approach. So basically, you define first the elements, and those create the layout, while the grid is the other way around. It's top to bottom, top down. So usually you define first the layout, your grid, and then you put the elements inside.
So let's see
So stop talking and more showing,
yeah.
Clara.
Yeah. So this is a microsite that I have designed. It's a microsite design in Penpot, but it's a plain design with those elements. Let's make a grid design. So we create a board with this size. And now, in here we can see we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 rows or elements that we want to place in our grid design. So let's make this board like a grid, okay? We have now 2 rows and 2 columns. As you can see in there, we are talking in code language. So we have 2 columns and 2 rows. But we have said we need 4 rows. So let's...
Maybe you can hide this so you have more space.
Yeah. So there, we can place it here. And, sorry, we are
So one thing we haven't talked about is that the grid layout is not exclusive. I mean, when it deploys its full potential is when you use together both tools, the Flex layouts and the grid layouts, because as I was saying, both provide different tools, a different set of abilities for the designers and developers to use. So for example, Clara, yeah. Also, you can check that all the items, all the menus and the buttons reflect, they speak the language of the code. For example, we have the alignment, self-start, line self-start. That's kind of the alignment of the items. And also, we allow for you to define the areas that you have in the grid.
So let's see. We can now do this and adjust the content. And also, we have this. So I have this element in here. There is a mosaic of 4 elements with a title. And what's that? Oh my God, I have here a component that is a grid with a 4-row.
Lo has metido dentro. Es que está dentro.
Vale.
Se arrastra fuera mejor.
There, and now here. Okay. And now we have this. Thank you for the applause. We are going to copy-paste this. Now that is what we call agnostic component. So as you can see, we can have components with empty rows.
Oops.
Sorry. With empty spaces. And you can have a button, an empty button without anything inside, and you don't have to place something like plain text or lorem ipsum, because you can have a row or a space assigned to a concrete element. So this.
So, yeah, and you were watching also that Clara defined previously a component that has already defined areas. So you can think this has a lot of potential. You can define your layouts even without anything inside them. That's what I meant before with the top-down approach. You define your layout, and you can even componentize it, and then later use it in different, well, in different pages or in your application, maybe different screens.
One thing that is important is for designers, we are always thinking in a layout, in a structure. And when we are designing, sometimes it's difficult to place things exactly when we want to place it. And for me, as a designer, I always design like that. Like, I'm going to place this here, and this here, and I need OK, agreed, and this is gonna be, I don't know, like 2 columns or so. But this doesn't have a reflex in code. So I am designing super specific pixel to pixel, but in develop who is going to implement this, doesn't have this information. With grid.
Well, maybe we can show them the code, really.
OK.
Can you change to my screen now, please?
We have here, chan, chan, chan.
It's mine? No, it's changed my turn.
Yeah, it's Alonso's turn.
Hello.
I think
yeah, now it's my screen, no?
Yeah.
OK, so, well, as Clara was saying, this is the grid layout is half the picture, no? Because we wanted that, to have a reflection into the code. I'm happy that in the talk before, this morning we have another speaker show us the old, well, the current code side of the Penpot screen, no? But we have done a lot of improvements in this window, because before we only have the SVG. Now we can also have HTML generation. And with a single button, we can create a web page with all the HTML and the CSS. And I'll show you that it's just pasting here everything. And let me run. Oh, sorry, I did. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah, and this is using standard. We are using. Well, this is the Chrome inspector for you of those that are familiar. I don't know if it's with them. I'll need to create. OK, so yeah, you see, we are using the grid that Clara defined. Here it's the definition of the rows and the columns. Well, we did a basic layout for this presentation, but you can expect FR, percentage, all those units. And inside here, you see as well the other, for example, this one was also a grid layout defined inside. Yeah, here you have it.
Cuando me digas hago.
So back to Clara now, please.
So let's make a change. And I want, in my design, so I want to erase that and make.
Yeah, Clara, so we want to show you how a developer would interact with a designer. Clara is making a change in the layout, so she's getting one cell, select
Yeah,
the cell.
sí. Voy.
She's changing the layout, so instead of having four spaces layout, she's putting the top two together and leaving the other three. Yeah, can you change back to me, please? Yeah. So if we go again, yeah. While I was off screen, what I did was saving this in my Git. Well, I created a commit, and now I again copying all the code with the changes that Clara did. And yeah, the cool thing is that we now can see the difference of the code generation before or after Clara's change. So as you can see, well, she did change the grid layout of the first element, so it spanned three cells. Well, if you have worked with grid layout, you know this is kind of cool. Yeah, and here you can see that also, well, the previous data was removed, no, all this HTML. So, well, that's a bit of a taste of what we wanted to show you.
Yeah. And thank you very much. Any questions?
We have plenty of time for questions, so yeah.
Maybe we
Here also.
Hello?
fast.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, yeah. First of all, congratulations. It's a really cool feature. It's like surrounding the circle. And just as a developer, we really want always more. It's like, and you are right now exporting all the code in HTML, and you have access to the CSS. It's like, how far away are you from adding breakpoints and being able to set the breakpoints and different? So it's like, we really want more.
That's the big question, no? That's the, yeah, it's in our roadmap.
Yeah.
Of course. We are right now working in a redesign of the components. So we usually work in parallel. So the next big thing probably it's the redesign of the components. Next, well, I suppose soon.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we understand this is
when you have
crying,
that,
no?
you need more.
Yeah, of course.
More.
This functionality screams to have the breakpoints because it's like, of course, we understand and we are working on that, or we will work on that in the near future. But I can say a specific. In fact, I think later, when is the Andy Stoll talking about the roadmap? Later, but it's
You
today,
can ask,
no?
you can ask Andy later.
Yeah, Andy is our product owner, and maybe I don't know if you have talked to him before.
Who is Andy? No, thank you. Thank you very much. Really looking forward to play with it.
Hi guys,
Hi.
I'm Dima, product designer, and a bit of a front-end coder. So yeah, well, thank you very much for the intro. Really cool stuff and the illustrations. So amazing. Thank you. Yeah. So my question, I have two questions, if you don't mind. So the first one is like, what is the logic behind naming div classes, and is there a way to specify the class name?
Oh, yeah. Well, we wanted to, well, not right now, but it's something we want feedback about. So we want, we work a lot with feedback. So this is really, we are working on it, and yeah, because this is just, we held this a bit under wraps to give you a bit of a surprise. But yeah, we always wanted feedback. And I suppose I was also thinking in class naming before, because, for example, with the code that is as it is right now, if you have the same design in two screens, as they don't share IDs, you don't really could, like you have, they are like different. Even if your design is the same, they are different for the code generation perspective. So of course, one of the next logical steps, it's something to say to the application, no, these both are the same, so please don't generate a new ID. But if out of the box, out of thin air, I needed something to create a unique class name. But of course, probably a field, because that's the most easy thing is to put a field and let you put the class name. That's straightforward. I suppose that's the minimum thing that we will provide. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I personally will be watching the space for it. Thank you. Yeah, and another one is like about code export. I mean, maybe it's a question for the roadmap, but if you don't mind, are you planning to implement, for example, React export for the?
Well, we are going step by step. Right now we are exporting HTML, but as you can see, that's a select precisely because we thought to provide more exporting methods. React maybe, well, I mean, there are already online tools that convert you from HTML to JSX. But, well, there are a lot of export targets that we could go for. But yeah,
and also contributions are welcome.
Good point.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Hello.
Where?
Yeah.
Can you raise your? There.
Yeah,
I am here. I think my question was just answered because I was about to ask that, but yeah. So I can only say thank you for implementing this.
You're welcome.
You haven't done yet the question. I thought it would be the first one. That it's when will be this ready?
When?
We are working on that in a test environment. So it's going to be a test environment beta for early users to try it and give us feedback. So we are going to send you an email or so you can try it and give us feedback.
Yeah,
but we need to do user testing first, and you are.
Yeah, a bit like we did with the Flex layout.
Yeah.
We will open we call for beta testers
Claro.
to try out and give us feedback, because I think it's even harder for the grid layout because it's more new, because other tools have Flex layout, but I think we are kind of the one of the first to have a grid layout, and it's more, your mind need to change a bit more.
And both Flex layout and grid layout combined, we need to test a lot of that. So
Hypothesis.
also contributions are welcome, and feedback, also feedback.
So here.
No, that was my question.
When?
Thank
Sorry,
you.
sorry.
No. I was really impressed. That's really, really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, really nice presentation. I'm sometimes, or more often than I should, I'm using Grid to stack stuff on top of each other. Is there support for that as well?
To stack, you mean like in a cell, inside a cell to stack stuff? Sorry?
Yeah, basically to, you define a grid area, and then you have the subcomponents use the same grid area, and by that you implement stacking on top of,
With
different sides of the grid, basically.
With Flex layout, you have Zeta index, and you can
Yeah.
do that. So you can combine flex layout with Zeta index and grid. And
Well, yeah. Also, I think that's not really a very best practice.
I know.
Right now, it's not possible, but well, we are open to change it in the future. But yeah, I think, for example, that use case, it would be easier to put a grid and inside a frame, a basic frame, that you can have absolute position inside, or even a flex layout inside a grid cell, you know? And I think it could be much more maintainable. But I feel kind of bad telling you how to do things, really. So yeah, we are open. That's the kind of feedback we really want. For example, when we put out there the flex layout, I think the first feedback was the Zeta index and also the absolute positioning. It's something that we had in our mind, but for us wasn't a priority. But when we put the flex out there, the feedback was that it was really a priority. So we went and fixed it. So I think more around those lines right now.
So the last slide said thank you, but actually thank you for making it. And also thank you for not trying to reinvent the wheel and use the names from CSS that we know as designers. We know what justify means, what grid, what everything, and just making it easy for us to understand, even though sometimes CSS chooses weird names. It's good to keep with the weird.
Yeah.
But the HTML part was amazing. Although it's a bit dangerous to get in there because now we want everything, right? Like, oh, HTML, so maybe JavaScript, or maybe accessibility in mind. So where is the limit for you, or do you even have a limit? Do you plan to say, okay, no, it's only going to be layout, and we're not going to have like a linter or like other languages, or
sky is the limit.
Sky is the limit.
Sky is the limit, really bad.
Nice. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, but well, I mean, we are focusing. We usually, that's also, I'm going to call also again for Andy, because in the roadmap you will see our short-term goals. So, well, but I mean, we try to focus on the now. Well, because I don't think for us makes sense to have a very long down the road vision, because as we create new features and receive feedback, the plans change, you know?
Yeah.
So,
the feedback many times give us one direction that we don't have 2 months ago. So we are going step by step, but tomorrow we can think about one crazy stuff, and next year we are talking here about, I don't know. So.
yeah.
Any more questions? No? Thank you.
Great, no? Great. Okay, I think you like that. Thank you so much. I think cool demos are really. It's really important that people actually working on those features show it, like this dynamic duo that we had today. So from the source of truth. So now we have a coffee break. About time. And but I would like to ask speakers or anyone actually having their name on the agenda to, instead of immediately going for some coffee and caffeine or snacks, come here and we have like a picture for all speakers. Okay, speakers, media partners, so we can have a nice group photo. Then we have the rest can go and enjoy the coffee. Then we have 2 parallel sessions. Here, you will have private GPT workshop. So super cool. We're going to put some tables during the coffee breaks, the coffee break, for people who actually brought their computers so that they can follow Ivan's workshop. So it's going to be cool. And then we'll have also a number of rows, a number of chairs, so people can just sit and relax, even if they don't have a computer. So that's the private GPT workshop immediately after the coffee break. In parallel, right there with the coffee break, we will have the open session for Penpot's roadmap. So yeah, you have some spoilers now, but of course, there's so much more that we want to build. And Carol and Andy will be delivering that open session. Probably it's going to be a bit interactive. It's going to be more like, yeah, open session, right? So instead of like sitting down, probably walking around and having some fun. So 2 different, just during the coffee break, just decide which one you want. I'll share with you that the workshop is going to be recorded. So that's something that you might want to know. Like it'll be available later. The open session will not be recorded because the logistics is not there. So coffee break, speakers, anyone on the agenda, please come here. Again, thank you. And okay. And the catamaran experience. Okay. Sorry, I forgot the most important thing. And then it's 7, I think it's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. 7:30. 7:30, please be on time, okay? We will be kind of, this is not like a fluid thing that you can say, okay, I came up late and just jump and see if I go on board. Be on time, and we're going to have 3 hours of amazing, Santa Cruz looking to Barcelona, etc. So 7:30. Okay, so you'll have 2 hours still to just wander around, be here, keep chatting, just go and see, the neighborhood. Okay, so no more housekeeping information until catamaran. Okay. Okay, now coffee break.